Hi, I'm Mike Lohanian, Client Technology Specialist from Dell, and today I'm here to review our new line of wireless headsets. Before we start, I do want to mention I do work for Dell. However, this is my own YouTube channel, so whatever I say on here is really my opinion. If I make a mistake, I own that is on me. But the way I want to do this review is we brought out three lines, a WL3024, a WL5024, and a WL7024. I want to talk about what is similar to these three models. What do you get regardless of which model you get that is similar across the board? Then I want to dive into each individual. So I'll start out with when I say the 3000 series, which is our entry level. And then I'll go to the 5000 series and say, what do you get when you bump up to the 5000 series? And then what do you get when you bump up to the 7000 series? So you can really have a formed decision about what headset is best for you or your end user. I've got to say, when I first opened up the box, I started out with the 3000, the WL3024, and I was impressed. I'm like, hey, this is entry level. Open it up, and I was like, man, this is really nice design. It feels comfortable. It sounds great. I sound good when I'm speaking into it. And I gotta say, this is part of a trend that we're doing at Dell, right? We're investing a lot of money in our peripherals these days, working on patents and designs. And this isn't an OEM headset. We just didn't go out and get someone else's headset and put a Dell logo on it. This was designed from the ground up by Dell. And in particular, I got to give a shout out to our Dell Singapore design team. They were integral in making the design of these headset, and they did a wonderful job. You're going to love these a lot. I do want to mention that these are enterprise class headsets. What does that mean? It's very easy as an individual to go out and buy a headset for yourself. What is challenging for customers is buying 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000 of them. That is a challenge, right? I need to make sure that sometimes I can not only get them in one country, I need to get them globally around the world. I need to make sure that when I've tested these things and work with our image on our notebooks and our computers, that it is the same every time I buy it, right? That it isn't a different chipset or a different driver in there. So I need that stability, and I need a life cycle stability, meaning I got to know when this product started production. I need to know before it ends so I can start making some changes. They also have to be durable. Right? As a enterprise or a corporation, I'm going to be using these 6, 7, 8, 9+ hours a day, 5, 7 days a week for years. So I need to make sure that they're great quality. And on top of it, if something does go wrong, I need to make sure as an enterprise class warranty that I can get these things fixed very quickly and get the end user up and running. So again, I'm going to start out talking about what is similar, and then I'll go into each one of these. Okay, what is similar among all three of these? Let's start off by saying they are Microsoft Teams and Zoom certified. That means we went to both Microsoft and Zoom and went through the certification process to ensure that these do work with Microsoft Teams and Zoom. All three of them have AI noise canceling microphones, right? You think about noise canceling earphones, but what about the microphone? How do I sound to that other person on the other end of the line? And all these microphones they have basically two microphones built into it. So what we call an AI beamforming. So it takes your voice coming in two different directions to get a better quality feed. And when I say it is AI noise cancellation, meaning I think to date we're up to like 50 million sounds that we've built in the firmware there. So we've gone through and we've tested and we figured out what sounds are not the human voice and what sounds are background and eliminate those, right? So when I talk, all you hear is my voice. For instance, when I work all day, I've got my dog Bunny. She sits underneath my desk. She snores like a fiend. It used to be that people could hear her. Now, this AI noise canceling microphone gets rid of the sound of her snoring, gets rid of the sound of her barking when the doorbell rings. It gets rid of that doorbell, gets rid of the click of my keyboard, the sound of my furnace, all those background sounds that make you sound bad on the other end. So now it's crystal clear. Another thing you'll get, and I'll dig into this on each one of them, is Dell Peripheral Manager. And that's the ability to set your settings on here, the quality, how you hear. So each one of them includes Dell Peripheral Manager. All three of them are Bluetooth 5.3. But in addition to Bluetooth, You also get in the system, you get a USB-C dongle. So if you want to connect through, I think it's a 2.6 gigahertz frequency, you can do that as well. And if you say, well, hold on, Mike, my notebook or my desktop doesn't have USB-C, we also include in the box a USB-C to A converter. You simply plug in, and now you're USB-A, so you can plug it into your desktop. From a range perspective, they all have the same range. It's about 100 feet or about 30 meters, which is a good amount of distance. Don't know about you, but if I am on a conference call, not on camera, I love to pace around. Just found it very more engaging if I'm up on my feet than if I'm just sitting down talking on a conference call. All of them, again, kudos to our Singapore design team. All of them have this memory foam headbands around the top of it, meaning you press it and it's very soft and has that memory to it. That is across the board. It's also adjustable. So if you have a big head or a small head, you can adjust to your size. So very, very comfortable. I do want to say, as you kind of go up the stack here from 3, 5 to 7, the memory foam gets a little bit thicker on each one as you go up, but all of them have that memory foam on it. All of them have a light indicator on it. So here on the microphone, even on the 3000 series, there's a little bar on here that lights up. So if I'm talking, the indicator is red, right? So everybody can see, hey, Mike's on the phone, don't bother him. If it's blue, that means I'm connected, ready to go, just not talking right now. And if it's white, that means it's charging. But that's across the board. All three of them have that light indicator. I talked about early about enterprise class warranty. The warranty is outstanding. It is a 3-year advanced exchange warranty on it. What does that mean? That means if I have a problem, I call Dell support or put in a ticket for Dell support. Instead of having to send a technician out here, what we'll do is we'll overnight you a replacement headset. When that shows up to you, you take the defective headset or the one that's having issues, you put it in the box and ship it back, and we cover the shipping both ways of it. So it is a wonderful enterprise class warranty. What else do we have similar? All of them support Windows 10, support Windows 11, and for my Apple friends, it supports Mac OS as well. So that is across the board. All of them. From the cushion, again, you want to talk about enterprise class. These cushions here are removable and replaceable. So we sell replaceable cushions. So, maybe you're 3 years into this and you've been using them heavily and they're starting to wear a little bit. I can go out and actually buy a replacement rather than having to throw out the headset and buy something completely new. Detail matters. And again, kudos to our Singapore team. Even if I look at these USB charging cables that come with it, these are what we call a fabric jacketed cables rather than rubber. Why is that important? One, it looks good, feels good, it's aesthetically pleasing, and it has a good texture to it. But also, it prevents tangling, right? So if you throw this thing in your bag, if you have that fabric coated, it tends to tangle less. So very, very nice, down to this minor detail on these are looked at. I do want to pause because I am talking about our wireless headsets. We also make wired version of these, especially we have 2 of the wired. We have a WH3024 and a WH5024. What I'm covering is the WL, not the WH. So the WL stands for wireless, WH stands for wired headset. I know that can be confusing, but I don't want you to get out there and get on Dell.com or get with your partner and you accidentally order the WH, which is the wired version, because you think it's an incredible deal, only to come out and you bought the wired headset rather than the wireless. So WL is what we're talking about today, not WH. So let's dig in. Let's start out with the WL3024. To start off, this is our entry-level wireless headset. And I know what you think. When I say entry-level, you think, oh, it's going to be El Cheapo, the bottom of the barrel. Why does my company hate me? They bought me, the low end of the headsets. Nothing could be further from the truth. Even though this is our entry level, there's a lot of very high-end features on this device. Like I said, this was the first one I opened up and started playing with, and I was like, this is really nice. So let's kind of get into that. First of all, what do you get? when you buy this headset. So what comes in the box? First of all, you get the headset itself, obviously. Secondly, you get a USB-C audio receiver, which I have plugged in here to my Latitude. You also get the conversion, like I talked about earlier, the USB-A to C. So if you don't have USB-C port, you can use this to convert it to A. You also get documentation as usual, just kind of throw those out, right? You get a USB-C charging cable, which I said I like because it is that jacketed material on there. And you also get the soft carrying pouch. Nice if you're traveling, especially for the size. That's one of the things about the 3000 series I like. It is kind of compact, and you can take that, put that in your backpack and travel with it and put it in this case or little bag. If you don't travel, then use this for poker night, right? Instead of a Crown Royal bag, you can put your change in the Dell wireless headset bag instead. So that's what you get in the box. From a pricing standpoint, I'm going to use what was on Dell.com in September 2024, and this is the list price. So this is kind of the, most people, this is enterprise class. A lot of people have their enterprise agreements and pay a lot less, but the list price on this is $159.99 US in September 2024. One of the questions that you may wonder, how much does this weigh? It is 6.42 ounces or 128 grams. What is that comparable to? Roughly about the weight of a hockey puck is the weight. So it's very, very light, but has a solid construction feel. How long does it last on the battery? It's about 30 hours of listening time if you're just listening to music. If you're doing talk time, we're talking about 25 hours of realistic talk time on this. Then the question is, well, how fast can I charge this? Well, to charge this to full capacity, it takes about 2.5 hours. But we do have an express charge. So if you plug it in for 15 minutes, you're going to get about 8 hours of use out of it. So if hey, I forgot to charge it overnight, plug it in for 15 minutes, you're up to 8 hours. That should be able to get you through the shift. What I talked about earlier was, all of them have this memory foam, what we call leatherette hand or a headband on this. It's very soft and cushiony and adjustable. So as you can see here, I can move it back and forth to fit my head more comfortably. The pads on these, it's again another soft memory foam on ear. So this doesn't cover the full ear, it lays on top of it. And it's what we call a passive noise cancellation. I gotta kind of laugh about passive noise versus active noise. Basically passive noise meaning, the foam itself kind of prevents sounds from getting in there, so it quiets the room. But I gotta say, when I put them on, I liked it. I could hear just enough of conversations and stuff, but not so much it was distracting to me. And then I talked about the boom mic here. This is an AI noise canceling microphone, so it actively takes out background noises, like I talked about my dog Bunny snoring, things like that will disappear on the call, so people don't hear other things. Especially if you think about you're in a call center or in cubes and everybody's around you, they don't want to hear other people's conversations and desk cleaning and all that. They just want to hear your voice. What's nice about this is a rotating boom mic. So whether I want it to be on this side or I flip it over and I want the headset to be on the other side, very nice feature. And in fact, this is the only one that has the ability to either put it on the left or right side. And when you do bring this boom mic all the way up, like in that position, vertically, it does mute it. So if you're on a call, you got this on and you're talking, you want to bring this up, that'll mute it. You bring it back down and you're off of mute. So very easy to use. One of the things about adjusting the sounds and everything, and I'll show in a minute, is Dell Peripheral Manager that comes with this. You load Dell Peripheral Manager on your system and you'll be able to make some adjustments to this system. If your company, you don't have admin rights and your company doesn't have Peripheral Manager preloaded on your system, usually I say if you're an enterprise, just open a service desk ticket, tell them that you want to load Dell Peripheral Managers. It is a signed application, so it passes a security muster, they'll put it on. If they don't, and you say, well, how do I get Peripheral Manager? You really have two options. Because this is Bluetooth, I can connect up to 3 devices on this. So I could do my cell phone, a tablet, my computer. I could say my work computer and maybe my home computer. So one thought is put Dell Peripheral Manager on your home computer, make the adjustments, and then connect it to your work computer, and you're all set. You've got that in there. But there's also a Dell Audio app that you can put on your cell phone that you can make some of those adjustments as well. But by far, I prefer the Dell Peripheral Manager to adjust this. So let's look at some of the buttons that are on here and how they work. And I got to admit, buttons usually are a little cumbersome in the beginning as you get to learn your headset. Really becomes second nature. But the first thing that you're going to see on here is a blue button. That's a Microsoft Teams button. When you select that, if you're on a Teams call, it'll bring Teams to the front of the system. The second one on that same side is a mute button. Press on for mute or on to unmute. If we look at the other side, we start getting a lot more buttons. One of them is a power button on here. It is also the Bluetooth sync. So if you press it and hold it, it will start to blink, and then you can connect your Bluetooth device to it. Then you've got a volume up and volume down, and in the middle is a play, pause, answer button, so that in between the up and down volume. And really that can do multiple things. If someone's calling you, you press a quick single press, will answer the call. A long press, if you just want to reject a call, just press it and hold it and it'll reject it. So think about this as saying, I've got it connected to my cell phone and my work one. Maybe I'm on Teams having a conference call. Someone calls on my cell phone. I can just simply press and hold and it will reject that incoming call. If I double click on it, it will actually end a call. So if I'm talking to somebody and the call's ended, I just double click it and it'll hang up. The other thing I can do, if I do a short press, if I'm not on a call, if I do a short press, that'll be the play and pause. So if I'm listening to music or watching a video, you just press it once, that'll pause or play it. If I press it long for like 2 seconds, it'll actually bring up voice assist. So if I want to bring up an assistant on that, you just do a long press. Again, in the beginning, you get to learn it, but after a day of using it or 2 days of using it, you really kind of get the by memory what each one of these buttons do. So that is a quick look. I do want to show you Dell Peripheral Manager and what it looks like here, and then we'll get on to the WL5024. Okay, so you can take a look here. I've got Dell Peripheral Manager on, and you can see that I have the WL3024 connected to it, and I'm connecting it through the dongle. It would also let me know if I was connecting it through the Bluetooth. It indicates Bluetooth, but here I've got it on the dongle. The other thing that you can control in here, you can control kind of the audio settings. And oh, by the way, I am using this headset right now, so you can kind of get an idea of how it sounds. But I can change my audio modes from being collaborative to, say, multimedia, where I can boost, if I go to multimedia, I can boost the bass, or speech boost, or treble boost, or I can customize it. But usually I'll set it with collaboration. I do want the mic noise cancellation on. You can turn that off. I guess if you turn it off, you do that because you want people to hear other sounds. Maybe you were testing something and you wanted people to hear it. You could turn that cancellation off. And then side tone is what you hear in the headset. So as I adjust this down to 0, it takes down my voice. So I can't hear it through the headset. So on a 5, I can fully hear my voice as I speak. If I take it to 0, it's really muting my voice, which I think is really odd to be able to speak without hearing your voice. So I typically keep it at 5. And then if we go down, it talks about
the display settings. You can have the busy light on. So if you want it to turn red while you're talking so people don't bother you, you can have that on. Or if you don't want that on, you can turn that off and it won't be there. Also, that voice assist allows you to say, hey, I want to press and hold that center button to do the voice guidance assist on. You can have that or turn that off. So when you boot it up, you don't want to hear the person saying, hey, your headset's on or connected. But I think most people find that nice. And then also here's a link to download the Dell Audio app for your cell phone if you want to control things, especially if you're, say, on the road and you're listening to music and you want to make some of these adjustments. So that was a quick look at Dell Peripheral Manager with this headset. For the other ones, I'll show what you get in addition to this in Peripheral Manager. You'll have a little bit more controls in it, but that's a quick look at it.
Okay, now that we've taken a look at the WL3024, we're going to take a jump up to the 5000 series, which is the WL5024. And we want to see, what do you get, right, as you make that step up? Like I said before, the list price on the 3000 series is $159.99. The 5000 series is $229.99. So the question is, what do I get for that additional $70 in value? I do want to note that at Dell, at our call centers, this is the WL5024 is what we use. So if you get on a phone call with an inside rep at Dell, more than likely they'll be using this headset. But to start off, some of the things you may notice right off the bat, let me turn this around, as you'll notice the boom mic is different, right? So I've got a boom mic here that went left and right. On the 5000 series, it actually has one that folds into the headset itself. It's actually really nice because when I have it down like this, I'm talking. When I put up this, it'll automatically mute it and then unmute it when I bring it down. So very nice design, but that will limit it to being on the left side of your mouth rather than the choice of doing left or right on the 3000 series, but much better design. You'll notice as I flip these out that the actual cushions or the on the ear headset is larger on the 5000 series, so more area of your ear that's on. You also notice an L for left and R for right ear, so when you look at it, you know which side to put it on pretty quickly. But besides that, I talked about the 3000 series being that passive noise cancellation, which is really just the foam getting out outside noise. On the 5000 series, you move up to active noise cancellation in the earbud. So both of them have AI noise cancellation on the microphone, but you go to active noise cancellation on the 5000 series, and you're able to determine the levels of noise that you take out of it. So you can have, basically there's 3 levels of how much you want to take out. And say, well, why wouldn't I just take it all out? Well, when you take everything out, you kind of miss some of the background sounds that you may hear, other people's voices. Maybe you just want to lightly hear that. But when you're on an airplane, I don't want to hear anything, right? It's very, very loud with the engine noise. So you take the full active noise cancellation and try to really eliminate as much as possible out. But it is adjustable on there, which is really nice. From a size standpoint, it is a little bit larger, the 5000 series than the 3000 series. You're basically going from 132 grams over here, about the weight of a hockey puck, to 219 grams. So not substantially heavier. Both of them are very, very light headsets. So I wouldn't necessarily worry about the weight, but it does have a little bit larger battery in the 5000 series. That's what really is the adjustment of that weight. Does that mean you get more talk time and more listen time? Not necessarily. With that bigger battery in there, you're really adjusting for that active noise cancellation because it can require more power to run that. For instance, the listen time on the 5000 series is anywhere from 78 hours to 50 hours, or 50 to 78. It's a big range, and that all depends on whether you have active noise cancellation on. Same thing for the talk time. Talk time is anywhere from 20 to 34 hours, and that depends on how much of the active noise cancellation you have on will give you that range. Also with this headset, you do get the option of having a cradle or an optional headset stand. The reason we put that is there is a cost to the stand. Some people want it, some won't. I mean, you get in the bag like you do all of them, the USB cable that you can plug in and charge. But if you want a little bit something cleaner at your desk, you can get the stand, and it just simply connects into the stand here, and really nice. It's sitting at your desk, but that is optional if you want to get it. And again, if we want to take a look at the buttons, we do. Again, there's a left-hand side and the right-hand side. The left-hand side, I do have the Microsoft Teams button on top. I've got a Microsoft mute button and unmute. So if I don't want to do the headset, I can mute it through there. And then at the bottom, I have the active noise canceling levels. So I talked about that 3 levels of being able to filter out sound. That's simply you would just cycle through it. 1 for low level, 2 for 3, and then 3 your max, and then hit it again and it's off. So it gives you that 3 levels. If I go on the other side, I've got the power on button and the Bluetooth pairing. I got volume up, volume down, and a pause button on there. So a few more buttons, and you'll also notice that as I'm going through this, I'm noticing things. The headset is a little bit further out, so a lot more cushion in that headset. Not only larger in diameter, but more padding, and a little bit more padding on the top of the headset as well. So that is a quick look at it. Let's go into Dell Peripheral Manager, and I'll show you some of the features of how you can change the controls. Dell Peripheral Manager with the WL5024 in it. As you can see, I have a nice picture of it. See, it is active right now. I can check the device status, connecting it over the dongle rather than Bluetooth. I can go in the audio settings, and this is where you'll start seeing some of the differences in here from the 3000 series, right? I've got that. This is what I hear through the headset, active noise cancellation. I can say transparency that will change how much I can hear in the background, or I can completely turn it off altogether. By the way, I am recording with the headset, so you're hearing how it sounds. I can also change from collaboration mode to multimedia mode. The noise cancellation in the microphone, I can select how much it will take out. So if I do want to have a little background sounds going that the other people on the other end can hear, I can do that as well. And then I have some automated actions that I can select or unselect. And one of them is pause music. So if I'm listening to music and I take the headset off, it'll actually pause it, or I'm watching a YouTube clip, it will pause it. Also the microphone mute. Like if I lift the earpiece off my ear, say someone's asking me a question, I can have that automatically mute the microphone. I don't have to actually just press it up. So that was a quick look at the Dell Peripheral Manager on the WL5024. Okay, now let's get to the 7000 series, the WL7024. So we got the 3000 series, the 5000 series, and now the 7000 series. And I'm going to start out with the 7000 series actually in its travel case that comes with it. I actually took this to Austin a couple weeks ago. I had some training down at Dell headquarters in Round Rock. So I decided to test it on a week-long trip. So I flew from Columbus to Austin and back, and I used this headset. Now, what's nice about this travel case, it's actually kind of a hard case, right? So it protects the headset. But as I open this up, at first I thought it was a little big, right? Like maybe this is too big to travel, but it actually fit in my backpack nicely. But one of the first things you'll notice when I open it up, I'm able to take its cradle along with it. As compared to the 5000 series where you can optional headset cradle, The 7000 actually comes with it, and this is a really nice one. It's very sturdy, and it has a special connection in there that's different than USB. It allows it to charge really quick. Though you can still charge your headset with USB connection, it has that connection. This Cradle has a little extra special connection for charging. And the thing that's nice about it is 15 minutes, the headset for 15 minutes in this dock is going to give you about 12 hours of listening time. So if you're kind of in a pinch and you need to get this thing charged quick, the dock works really, really well. You also have all the normal cables and dongles that you would get with the other ones, but in addition to it, you get an aux cable, because there is an aux port on the bottom of the headset here. So if you want to hook it directly to a device. So that is something also that you don't get in the 3 or 5000 series. But as I put this up, the first thing that a lot of people notice is that it is, instead of an on the ear pad, it is an over the ear. So it is quite a bit larger than, say, the 5000 and the 3000 series, but it's so big enough that it gives you that space inside. Great for a couple of reasons. One, it's better for a sound perspective, and it also doesn't cause your ears to get so hot by constantly have contact. You just have it around the edges. So I know people that when it comes to headset, that feature alone over the ear is really, really important to them. They won't buy one that is on the ear. But you also have it designated left and right. One of the things like you'll notice right away is there is no boom mic on this. Where is it? The actual mics are built into the headset itself. So it is a boomless mic setup. And I found it to be very, very good quality when I was speaking. So really, really nice. The other advantage that you're going to get in going from the 5000 to the 7000 is you're now going to a AI noise canceling headset that is bidirectional. So it's even more advanced in the AI configurations than the 5000 series. This really distinguishes what a voice is from a sound and eliminates everything else out. But it also does it from a bidirectional perspective, meaning if someone else is on, say I'm on a conference call with them or on a Teams call, and they have a poor quality mic and they have lots of noise in the background, my headset will actually take the noise out of their call, right? So I don't have to hear, people talking in the background. I don't have to hear, jet engines going, whatever is in the background. I actually hear them better. From a size of it, it is bigger, right, than the 5000 series. Weight-wise, it is a little bit heavier. I went from 219 grams to 297 grams, but by no means is this heavy whatsoever. From a talk time on this headset, you get anywhere from 60 to 80 hours of talk time on the headset, depending if you're using the AI noise cancellation or not. I'm sorry, that was a listen time. From a talk time, you get 26 to 28 hours. So you get 60 to 80 hours of listen time, 26 to 28 hours, again, depending if you have the active noise cancellation on or off on it. From a price perspective, again, I'm using list prices at a point in time, so I'm sure it always will change, but $159, $229, $359. But remember, the Cradle does come with it. It does come with the case as well, rather than a bag on the unit. So real nice, very ergonomic feel to it. Now, the other thing I noticed right away is I pulled it out of the box and just started looking at it visually. I'm like, there's some buttons, but there's not a whole lot of buttons on the unit itself. What you'll find, I had to start playing with it. I'm not a big read first. I'm more of a dig in and start playing with it. But on the headset itself, this side here on the right side is more like a touchpad on your computer. It is actual controls. So if I wanted to go volume up or volume down, I just simply swipe up or swipe down. Say if I want to get a full volume, I swipe up and just hold, or volume all the way down, swipe down and hold. That will control the volume. It's actually kind of neat when you're on a plane. I don't have to try to remember what the buttons are. I just swipe up, swipe down. Like if I wanted to skip a song or go to a next frame on a movie, you just go forward or backwards on here and it will do that. It's kind of weird, right? Because you're like, hey, I'm in this application and it knows this gesture will do that for this application. Say you've got it hooked to your cell phone and you're on your computer and someone calls in, you can simply tap twice and it will switch over to your cell phone or switch over to your computer. But what if you don't want to take the call? You simply just touch it and hold it and it will reject that call, so you don't have to take it. Really kind of great features. Now, remember I talked about that, active noise cancellation and the ability to control how much you can hear or not. If you simply just tap 3 times on the tap zone, it will change that setting to more noise cancellation to the point that it goes back to no cancellation. So 3 taps. But I also have those buttons on the bottom as well. I've got the power on, I got the Teams button, and I have the active noise cancellation button on there. So if I don't want to remember that, tap 3 times, I can hit it there. So incredible headset. I was thoroughly impressed. I mean, all of them are impressive. Like I said, when I started with that 3000 and started playing with that, I was like, hey, this is really nice. And as you start going up that stack, you start finding out, yeah, you get a little more, and this is definitely the the top of the line. But there's nothing to knock on all 3 of them. In fact, the 5000, I can't remember if I mentioned it, this is what we use at Dell. In our call centers, we use the 5000 series. But definitely the top of the line here is this 7000. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. You learned a little bit. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Again, my name is Mike Lohanian from Dell. I'm a client technology specialist. Thank you.